Hi friends, a very good evening to all of you and a warm welcome on MadhvisLuxury.co. Let's all welcome Dr. Shruti Rana Pudar here today with us at MadhvisLuxury.co.
Hello, Madhvi. Thank you for having me on.
Good evening, Dr. Shruti, and a warm welcome on MadhvisLuxury.co. It's a real pleasure and honor to host you here today. And would love to know, Dr. Shruti, your journey as a global speaker, organizing events, global spiritual mentor, organizing festivals and worldwide collaborations. And there's so much to you, actually. We would love to know you as a vibrational healer, a poet, a musician, a spiritual teacher, a heritage conservationist and educationist, a trainer of trainers, and a grassroots social worker, a teacher of ancient wisdom, and an entrepreneur in heritage, hospitality, tourism, and holistic well-being. So it would be really nice to know about your journey. It would be really inspiring for all of us to hear it.
Well, first and foremost, I'm just, I guess, a seeker and adventurer ever since I was born. Of course, music has been a part of me since childhood. So I've always been singing more for myself and friends rather than as a profession. And of course, life has led me through many very, very fateful, interesting, evolutionary twists and turns, which have all helped me in becoming what I am today. So there have been many lives in one life, and that is why you have read so many aspects to me, to our friends here. But the important thing is that, yes, I've always been a seeker, and as I seek, as I learn, I share. So that makes me a teacher and a mentor. Yes, I have been a lot of on my online courses and sessions have been ongoing right through COVID. Whether it's on the Bhagavad Gita or on the Ishopanishad or on exploring the Shaktis within us. So yes, that mentoring, that teaching goes on all the time. And of course, I've been global. I've lived abroad for about 8 years. And I've been through, right from the grassroots to the corridors of fame. So in a sense, have seen it all, done it all. But somewhere in 2012, I had an inspiration that all that I've done, all the events that I've organized, the conferences that I've organized, the amount of teaching I've done. I've been a teacher trainer. I've trained thousands of teachers all over India and also abroad. So one day in 2012, I was wondering what I was really doing and I'm making a difference too. And that led me to feel and be inspired to search for a land at the grassroots in India. And this happened while I was in the UK in Belfast. And I was inspired to seek a land in India where I could bring my life's learnings and skills to the grassroots and grow with the community. So that led me to search, which made me find, after long search, I chanced upon and I was intuitively led to Ramgarh Shekhawati. And less than 24 hours of being there, I realized that this was the place I was looking for.
Wow, beautiful.
Your journey now. Yes.
Beautiful, lovely. And I think it's a really inspiring journey and story because people can't even accomplish one thing in their life. And I think you accomplished so many things in one life itself. So truly inspiring, I must say. And I would like to ask you, Dr. Shruti, that having such a multi-talented personality, how do you manage to take out time for such different roles? Like, how do you manage work-life balance?
When you're like a fakir, when you're traveling all the time, when you're journeying all the time, when you're willing to take risks and enjoy taking risks and also enjoy people from across the board, right from the poorest of the poor to the richest of the rich, without looking at their status really, but looking at them as human beings, then you can very easily slide from one aspect of life to another. And that's what I do. So right from handling the accounts of my 5 outfits to hobnobbing with my women at the grassroots and their skills training, also managing my tourism and my hotel, my heritage hotel, my lovely Vedaranya Haveli in Ramgarh, Shekhawati. So all that has really happened, particularly in the last 7.5 years, because my aim was really development. My aim was really to grow with the community. So when I chanced upon this place called Ramgarh Shekhawati, I was so awestruck by the heritage and beauty of that place that I was absolutely committed to, resurrecting the place, restoring the place, and also, developing the economy of the people. So everything that happened after that was to support the overall goal. So it was never a goal for me to become an entrepreneur. I'm not restricted in title at all. The idea was development, and along the course, in my meetings with the government, in my exploration of what I needed to do, right from planting trees to building shauchalayas to working with students and women, I suddenly realized that the low-lying fruit and the necessary thing there was hospitality, because how would I get people there if I didn't have a place for them to stay? So that is what took me into somehow buying a Haveli and creating a hotel and creating retreats and tourism. So this whole, avenue of hospitality and tourism really happened for a larger purpose, not for the sake of hospitality and tourism. Yes.
Lovely, amazing. And Sunita is saying that a lot of work. Yes, sure, it is a lot of work and diverse fields. And I think entrepreneurship, like it happened eventually. You never intended to be an entrepreneur, but because you were on with something or the other in your life going on, and that's how it happened. Really amazing. I must say, amazing energy levels, and it's I think God's gift when you get these powers and energies to do so much of work, because it's impossible otherwise. I think there is some power that you get from the universe. Yeah, sure. And
the movement of a divine will. I don't even know why I went where I went and why I do what I do.
True, absolutely. And if I may ask you that, what is your top work role out of all the mentioned, like you're most passionate about out of all these that have been mentioned?
I think, to put it very simply, discovering, learning, and whatever I discover, whatever I explore, whatever I learn, I like to share. I like to create roots with it, and I like to collectively grow with those roots. So whether it is my healing work, which has been on, I've been healing people, I've cured people of epilepsy, of various diseases ever since 1996. I've been dealing with the sciences of Nada since 1996, 24 years. That has, that's been a journey of discovery. First of all, self-discovery. I first discovered the power of sound on my body in 1992. And I began to experiment after that. And then when I was absolutely convinced, and when I, discovered the power of Bija mantras and various aspects of Nada, then I began to teach across the world from 1997 and 96 actually. And yes, so I've taught people and healed people across many countries now. Yes.
Lovely, amazing.
We're just launching our teacher training workshops from January, from 15th. Because after 25 years of healing and teaching, I've decided now to train teachers to also.
Lovely.
Yes.
Beautiful. Amazing. And if I may ask you, what attracted you to become a spiritual healer?
I don't think there was any particular, like I said, I never was seeking to become a healer or a teacher or any such nomenclatures. I discovered the power. I discovered that my own body was healed. And then I did experiments on others' brain and EEG, and I found differences with the science of mantra and japa, and I found startling revelations, so many cures have happened. So when I discovered that, I felt it was very, very important, since I haven't myself had medicines for the last 31 years. No
Okay,
allopathy.
amazing. That's wonderful. That's amazing.
So what I discovered was, the most complicated diseases can be cured with the simplest yet most powerful ways of healing from the ancient traditions, which I discovered. I was very fortunate to discover these upon my own body, and then with others. So I'm so passionate about what is so important for the world, and that is why I decided to share the technologies, to share the sciences. And there are so many levels of vibrational sciences. When I say nada, it's not just about sound or music, it's about different levels of vibrational sciences, right from mudra to mantra to yantra, to the whole science of to the amazing gamut of sciences of visualization in our traditions.
True.
There are many, many visual levels. So we work with all of them.
Really interesting, I must say. And I think, especially around these times when we are going through COVID-19 and so many of these viruses, if one can stay without medicine and be healthy, I mean, that's really very, very important. And it's amazing to know this from you. And I would like to tell the audience that despite of being, recipient of many, many prestigious awards and national as well as international, I cannot mention all of them, but I would like to say that Dr. Shruti Rana has been the recipient of the prestigious FICCI Award for special contribution to the travel and tourism industry for her innovative revival of heritage, creative and wellness tourism at the grassroots and empowerment of women and local communities. So I would like to ask you, Dr. Shruti, about your various initiatives, if you can brief. I mean, there are a lot of them again, like introducing the potential, a 9-day exhibition, and Rambagh Shekhawati, past, present, and future. Past, present, and future. Then the Shruti Foundation and Government of Rajasthan collaborations, restoration of Ramgarh Fort, Vedanya Project, Vedanya Heritage and Healing Festival, Vedanya Haveli, artist residencies, vibrational healing, and Vedanya retreats. Also, as Heritage Town, museum development, Heritage India Cyclothon, creative tourism, wellness tourism, so much of it. So, whatever, if you can tell us about all these initiatives.
Well, they just happen. As long as the important thing is, if you really want to know the reason why they happen, it is because you take a decision, and then you set a date, and then you do it. That's all. Don't think too much. You start walking, and as you start walking, you get ideas, you get collaborators, and that's the only way it happens. If you wait and think and plan too much to become too perfect, I can just share with you right now that I'm not at all a perfect person. I'm just an adventurer.
Modest. That's being modest.
And no, it's you see, if one worries too much about one's reputation, if one worries too much about what if I fail, one will not end up doing anything.
True, very true.
I never worry about what if I fail, and I must share with you that there have been many times that I've failed, many times that I haven't performed as well as I wanted to, but that's okay. So if you're willing to fail, and if you're willing to take risks, then you have a spark, you have an inspiration, and then you say, okay, I'm going to do it, and then you set a date and you start walking. That's all.
Beautiful, lovely. Again, very inspiring, I think, and one should take risks, be ready for it, and not care whether you'll fail or not, because it's part of life, I think. And some of your projects probably you'll be successful, and some you may lose. But then, end of the day, you learn and you keep growing and learning.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Lovely. And besides these initiatives, you also have a lot of the parallel activities like the Intact for Sikar and Churu and Junjunu district.
It's called now the Shekhavati chapter. It's called the Shekhavati chapter now. So I am the convener. Intact appointed me as the convener for Intact for the entire Shekhavati region, which basically covers 3 districts, which is Churu, Sikar, and Junjunu.
Right, beautiful.
And I'm also a member of their advisory council for intangible heritage because of my own, years of engaging with cultural knowledge. And
wonderful. Yeah, and you've been doing a lot of work on women empowerment.
Because it's such an amazing body and world famous body, which really works towards awareness building, towards conservation, towards restoration, both of tangible and intangible heritage. So since I was already working with restoration of the different heritage sites, but not only the tangible heritage in that region, but also conserving all the documents there, the old manuscripts that I found there, the old telegrams I found written 100 years ago. So I digitized them, I conserved them. So because we were already in that field, we were already doing so much work with heritage. And that is why I was asked to become the convener. And through Intact, we continue not only this work, which is of documentation and conservation, but also of skilling through their crafts, etc. So we had a workshop. We skilled the women into rug making with katran. And now Shruti Foundation continued its work, but part of the work of Shruti Foundation was that we also started a skills training center where women have come and gone, and we have at any time 20 or more women who are employed by us and working with textiles and other handmade products. Yes.
Very nice. So they get employment. And
though their husbands lost their jobs, our women never lost their jobs.
Okay.
So they fulfill their families. Yes.
Great. Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, you've been doing a lot of work towards women empowerment and Shruti Foundation student workshops, tree plantation drives to help environment, and Shauchalyas Swachh Bharat Award from Gaur. That's also been, you're a recipient of that award.
Government of Rajasthan. Government of Rajasthan.
Yeah. Right. Yes. And the impact has been very
along with Government of Rajasthan. They've been very collaborative. They've also collaborated with our festivals. Vedaranya Heritage and Healing Festival that I started in December 2016. It's popularly called VAHfest, VHAH. So that's the abbreviation. So it's called VAHfest. And our next VAHfest is from 5th to 7th February. We are going ahead with it at Ramgarh Shekhavati. It will be more in a Baitak style this time. So you're most welcome to join us. And after that, in the beginning of March, we'll be having the cyclothon. We started the cyclothon 2 years ago, the Heritage India Cyclothon, also to make people aware of heritage. Yes.
Lovely. So something or the other is going on from January onwards to Feb and March, in Rajasthan.
Throughout the year, something or the other. Yes.
Great. Lovely. And I think the impact has been really obvious because government has allotted funds and increased tourism has been increased. Plus, a lot of Padma Shri awardees and healing in the Healing Festival has got the greatest Indian performers and artists like Rajan and Sajan Mishra, Sonal Mansingh ji, Dr. Shobna Narayan ji, Shobha Mudgal ji, in the Shekhawat, increasing economic and commercial opportunities as well. With all this happening, all these activities,
we've got the best that India has to offer right there. Singing in the middle of our fort, which I partially record, staying at our Haveli, along with the local artists, So the idea was not only to get the world to Ramgarh, to make them aware of this little wonderland of heritage, view for so many years, but also to make the local people proud of their heritage, because there's been so much destruction of heritage. There is so much apathy towards heritage that when people from outside come and appreciate what you have, then you
Right.
begin to appreciate what you
To
have.
value it even more.
Yes, so the people really value of what they had, and it was an attempt
Right.
to really make people aware. Yes, and also enjoy and celebrate. Yes.
And I'm sure you're happy with your decision of coming back to India and not settling down in UK since you were there for so many years.
Yes, I was. I'm a die-hard Indian at heart. There was a little body of 8 years. I was married abroad. I was married to a lord. I was a lady. Had that little stint, which was fine. And then I decided not to carry it on, so I left and came back to India. And that's, like I said, each phase has been amazing, evolutionary, learning, and all that, all experiences have added to all the work that I do today.
Beautiful, lovely. And I think Sunita Dhar is saying, Shruti, hi, your risk has paid you. And for that matter, all of us, we are all beneficent in some way or other, highly inspiring and aspiring creativity.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would like to know, Dr. Shruti, what does the future hold in store for you? You've already achieved and accomplished so much. What next and what more?
Well, just a lot more happiness and a lot more learning.
Lovely,
Important thing
beautiful.
is to always look forward. Important thing I have found in my life is to always, my philosophy is what next, nothing else. I never look back, I only look forward. And always attempt to work hard, be creative, and just try and love everyone and everything. That's what life is about.
Lovely, beautiful. And Tamanna Singh is saying, I absolutely adore Shruti ji. Kudos to her and have fond memories of her at PhD Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Tamanna. Thank you.
So a lot of people are there. Aati Zaveri is there saying hi, and so many other, I can't see everyone's comments, but Rohit Jain is saying kudos to Shruti Radhar, another Podar. So a lot of them are there. And if I may ask you for a poem, since you're a poetess as well.
You actually prepared me. I write my poems very spontaneously. I don't know if I can bring up one very quickly. If I can bring it up, I will. Otherwise, not. If you ask me to sing a song, that's easier.
Sure, whatever you feel, like it.
Let me see. Okay. So I don't know if I can find my poem, but if I can, okay. I think I have found one poem, which is.
It would be nice to hear a poem as well as a song from you, if possible. We would love to hear it both.
Because of the poem, there was a phase when I was when I was living in the UK and I was spending a lot of time alone. And that was the time I revived my poem writing to some extent. Okay. And this poem was written in 2012.
Okay.
Early 2012. It was very, very cold. And so I just found that poem. So I'm going to try and read it. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
A person who was like a brother there, and he was talking to me on the phone, and he said, "You haven't written a poem for some time." And I said, "Oh, I'm so busy. There's so much work. I don't have time." So he said, "Why don't you just pause?" Okay. So I went to my desk and I picked up the pen and I put my title as The Pause.
Okay.
And I'm going to read the poem. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Would love to hear.
Okay, so let me try and read this to you. Okay. So it's called The Pause. My pen name is Aparajita.
Okay. Yeah.
That work is done, this work ahead. An endless stream goes on, and miles to go before I sleep, as I await the dawn. A load of stuff just done with now in journeying for the cause. A moment now to take a breath. A moment now to pause. The pause as one sits with no thought, languishing in a daze, spontaneously then leads to sight through just an inner gaze. Pausing, sensing finally one's hollows and the core of being, the being of light, the being that I adore. As I commune with being a flame within, it tells me what I need to do beyond the daily din. It says to me, as my inner core, it says to me, my loving one, a circle in a sense must hold the center, yet must grow in its circumference. It says to me, my probing one, a spiral you are too. As you uncoil and you ascend, you will know what to do. Your vortices absorb the world within your mortal box. Now with immortal light, my love, resolve the paradox. The light of being electrifies the blood from toe to head, in honeycombs of cells and stuff within which one is bred. And yet one speaks of consciousness as alien to oneself, something that has nothing to do with every dancing breath. One would but know by gazing in the journeys of the lights, the kindnesses of one that's still into its myriad flights. What stillness? No, not the one that brings lazy escape, but one that dynamizes mind to give one's dream a shape. One's earthly sphere envelopes the infinite within. Oh, share the dream that dreams come true with every sapling kin. And lest you get confused, my one, with many a tempting light, remember you must pause again to find the light of sight.
Beautiful.
Pause, quite like stepping back to see and be aware. To move, one flows of lightning streams with laser force and care. So bridging with the worlds within, one comes back then refreshed. The forward way, the steps ahead, by stillness now assessed. The chaos puzzle falls in place. One comprehends the laws. The mind maps branch from seeds of light as one invokes the pause.
Beautiful, lovely, awesome. And even the audience, there are some people, they're saying very nice. And actually, at this time, we all have got the time to pause. COVID has somehow, made us all pause. And pause is not a pause because there's so much depth to it. There's so much to it, actually.
Yes, indeed. It's been a time to cleanse. It's been a time to purify. It's been a time to step back, just like I said in the poem, and come back refreshed. And realize there was so much that we were doing in the past which was unnecessary, which we could have done without running around the way we did.
Absolutely.
So a lot of reflection must have happened with every one of us. And I'm sure we have evolved out of it. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of comments I'm getting on the screen from the audience, though I cannot read all of them. Whichever I can see, I'll just read it out. So Dipali is saying, "Hi Shruti, good to catch you out of the blue. You're lovely and talented as always. Let's hear you singing too. Radhika's cousin for you to recollect." And
Yes.
there's another, somebody else, Jyoti is also saying, we request you to sing as well. It would be really nice if you can sing. Vicky Anand is saying, awesome. Some of the comments I'm able to read, so I'm reading out those. Very nice. Jyoti Gupta, please sing. She's saying, Jyoti Gupta.
Okay. So what should I sing? So I can sing either Shivoham. Some like my Shivoham very much, so I can sing that. Or I can sing, what do you want? You want a spiritual song? You want a Bollywood song? What would you like?
Even Shivoham should be nice.
All right, great.
Yeah.
मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् सोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम्
Lovely.
न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुर्न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोश न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम्. It's quite long.
Beautiful, lovely, awesome. And if any few lines of the Bollywood as well, maybe some people will like that as well.
After this,
Jasleen is saying, yeah, Jasleen is saying, great to know your journey and Christmas song. Oh, she wants to listen to a Christmas song.
I unfortunately don't know a Christmas song.
Jyoti Gupta is saying Bollywood song. Nasir Abdullah is saying Bollywood song.
Okay. So there
Must
is.
sing.
Okay.
Bahut sundar, lovely. Dipali Narula. She's commenting.
Let me. Okay, which one should I sing? I can sing. चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी न हो आंसू भी न हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले एक ऐसे गगन के तले. Sing along.
Beautiful. I don't have such a good voice.
लेके चलो एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी न हो आंसू भी न हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले एक ऐसे गगन के तले.
We really wish that our this Gagan becomes like that soon.
Yes, indeed. First we have to make it that way within. Only then it will happen outside.
True. Right now, everybody's so stressed because of the COVID-19. I mean, is there anything that you can guide us to some healing thing or a meditation that would help us, to get out of this anxiety and scare of the COVID-19?
Actually, we have it within us. We just have
Bahut
to.
खूब बचिया सुखी रहो. Nasir Abdullah is commenting.
Thank you, Nazir. So yes, well, we practice it all the time. Most important is attitude. But to help that attitude, of course, there are practices. There is yogic practices. There are vibrational practices. You're most welcome to join our courses. We've been having them every month. We have another one from 15 January, our NADA courses, where we will be learning all the techniques of how to not only cleanse yourself, purify yourself, but also increase your energy, empower yourself, still yourself, and become more dynamic. Access the energy within you. Learn mudras, learn chanting, learn special bija seed sounds for different diseases and different mind and body conditions. So yes, please do join us. And
Yeah, surely. Definitely. Look forward to it. And as you know, Dr. Shruti, the program is about madhvisluxury.co. I would like to know the definition of luxury according to you.
Okay. Luxury is also almost synonymous with the sense, the individual sense or the individual enjoyment of prosperity. Okay? So, prosperity is really the feeling of plenty. Luxury is not what you see from outside, luxury is what you feel from within. You can be sitting in a palace and feeling absolutely miserable, depending on how you are from within. So enjoying luxury is enjoying, even a spoonful of rice and thinking that you've had the most wonderful thing in the world. Luxury is really a state of mind. It's a state of mind which applies itself to its surroundings. So a person who feels luxurious from within would create luxury out of very little means. So luxury is not about money. Luxury is about extending your spirit into matter.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Lovely. It's feeling of abundance within, I think. Also,
Yes. Yes. Feeling of abundance within will create abundance first in your mind and your psychology and in your emotions and in your way of being with people. And then that can be extended into your environment so that when people enter that environment, they feel a sense of luxury.
Right, true.
And my own experience is that you don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of resources. What you do need is the resolve to make it happen, and willingness to experiment and collaborate. That's all it means.
Lovely, beautiful. Again, a lot of comments. People are saying it's internal happiness, and that makes sense and all. It's deep. So we can read them later on, maybe. And I would like to have a message on COVID-19 from you for the audience.
COVID-19 is a current sensation in our lives, just like many sensations that have happened through the ages. Important thing is to build inner immunity and talk less, do more. Have your hot water through the day. Cleanse yourself. Please add a little bit of turmeric in your hot water whenever you're feeling a little low. Make sure don't have cold things. That's all. That's all. If you're prone to colds and coughs, build your immunity. Have things that build your immunity. Have pepper, have ginger, have antioxidants. All these things will help you. Have our neem turmeric powder. We create our health supplements. I forgot to tell you, we also have started a range, a new company. Oh, that's another thing. That's another entrepreneurship part. I've started another company called Vedaranya Healing, and that has created a magic herb capsules which are called Gokru. They have cured UTI, they've cured prostate problems, they've joint problems, they've increased vitamin D in people. So it's been magical over the last 1 year, the effects that Gokru has had on people, including me. Yes.
Wonderful. So amazing tips, I must say. And I think Jasleen is saying coffee works good, hot coffee. And now I would like to go for a
on the bones, by the way. Coffee can cause osteoporosis very, very early in people. So Personally, do not
You would not
advocate it. In fact, I have never
Right.
had it in my life except maybe once a year. But
Okay.
I would advocate coffee.
Maybe that's another good idea. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And I would like to go for a rapid fire round with you now. So, what's your inspiration been for doing so much and so many things and so many, projects?
As a child, my father. As a child, my inspiration was my father. He led me into music. He got me my first tanpura at the age of 8. So yes, to begin with, it was my father who was my inspiration in music, in loving everyone, in having the spirit of adventure. And as I went along, many inspirations. I was a mathematics graduate, so my maths teacher in class 5 was my inspiration. I've been a maths graduate, and the love for learning was always there. It, I guess, came from my grandfather and my father. And the spirit of never say die comes from my mother. And Sri Aurobindo has been a great influence in my life. Sri Aurobindo and the mother have been very influenced by their teachings. I had a great guru of Sri Vidya, Professor P.A. Seshrin. They are no longer in his body, but the whole initiation into Sri Vidya, the fact that I can initiate others, the power of the bijas, the power of the Shakti, the Sri Yantra, the Shakti bijas, and all the Shakti practices, all that came from my Sri Vidya Guru. And life is the greatest inspiration. Your experiences are the greatest inspiration because every experience teaches you something.
Yeah,
But
biggest learning.
Last but not the least, unwavering faith in the source that has created. Unwavering faith. Come what.
Lovely.
That's the key. That's the key.
Right. Lovely. And the relationship rule that you always follow.
Let go and be flexible. Yeah.
Nice.
Relationships are dynamic all the time.
Yeah, true.
You have to keep letting go. You can have fights, let go, forgive, move on. That's all. And create opportunities for laughter and enjoyment.
Right. I think forgive and forget.
One of the greatest ways of enjoying friendships is to discover together. Keep discovering together. Keep
actually true.
Something that excites you and makes you enthusiastic.
Yeah. True, very true. Absolutely. And a self-discovery during the lockdown.
So, well, I think I came back to something that I had been doing for a long time. I think I've been a natural teacher and mentor ever since I was 13. I always enjoyed sharing my knowledge, right from sharing my classical music khyals and etc. right from the age of 13. So I think during COVID, because I was not running back and forth between Gurgaon and Rajasthan or traveling abroad as I was doing, I got online during COVID. I came back to my teaching, which I had been doing for so many years, but which had been stopped in the middle for about 10 years or 12 years. I was not teaching. So I came back and I got inspired to now create a new format for teaching to people across the world through an online format. So that's what really happened during COVID. Also, I also got a chance to go deeper into my relationships with my parents, with my children, spend more time with them, which itself was an inspirational journey because there's so much we discover in relationships in a positive way. So I think all these wonderful things have happened. A lot of self-discovery, a lot of self-introspection, and evolution through that introspection. And so that's been the gift of this time, really.
Lovely. Tripta Garg is saying unwavering faith, true, something she's commented. And if I may ask you your strategy in crisis, your right word, unwavering faith, so precise. That's by Tripta Garg.
Thank you. So your question was, sorry, say that again.
Your strategy in crisis.
One, never say die. And the second, as I said, what next?
Great.
My question is what next? I never look back. Strategy,
nice.
What next? That's all. Find solutions. Never problems. Always find solutions.
Lovely. Again, really inspiring. And if you could define love,
it's self-existent. Love is self-existent. We just close ourselves from it. So if you open yourself, there's love around, love all around. The important thing is to be loving. If you are loving, then you don't need love from others because you're concentrating on the act of loving, not on the act of seeking love.
Receiving. Right, true. Well said. And we know so much about you, but I mean, if you can tell us something that nobody knows about you still, one thing that nobody knows about you.
Well, there are different pockets and there are different groups of people who know different things about me, and I don't know who knows what and who doesn't know what, but I guess maybe what people don't know about me is I'm basically at heart a recluse.
Oh, okay.
I love spending time alone. I can spend time alone for years and years. In sadhana, sitting by myself, doing a whole lot of research. In fact, I don't get enough time to do the amount of learning I want to do. So I'm basically a seeker. I guess some people know that and some people don't know that. But that's the real me.
Great. Nice to know that side of you as well. And a health shot that you swear by, a health tip.
Drink water every morning. Drink at least 1 liter of water before you brush your teeth every morning. Just like you give yourself an outer bath, please give yourself an inner bath. That is one of the greatest secrets of being disease-free. We keep our bodies dirty throughout our lives. We don't even give ourselves a bath one day in our lives, from inside. So please give yourself an internal bath every morning before you brush your teeth. The best cure for all diseases. And
Great.
keep smiling and chant. Chanting is great. Chanting is great.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Wonderful. And you like de-stress with?
With anything. I might just watch a film, or I might sing, or I might chant. Of course, chanting Om is a great de-stressor. The best de-stressor. Okay. Just take deep breaths and chant. Chanting is absolutely fabulous for de-stressing.
Okay. And your 2020...
Have fun with your family, have fun with your children. That's a great de-stressor.
Yeah, very therapeutic, yeah. And your 2020 in one word.
Transformation.
Okay, nice.
Change.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Shruti, for being here on madhvisluxury.co. It's been a real pleasure and honor hosting you on the show. Thanks for taking out your precious time and being here with us.
Thank you, Madhvi. Thank you for having me with you, and it was a pleasure. Thank you. Namaste.
Thanks. Have a great evening. Bye-bye. For all those who missed the show, can watch it on my YouTube. For any queries related to real estate, art, hospitality, weddings, fashion designers, jewelry designers, you can get in touch with madhvisluxury.co. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.